What is up, guys? It is me, Max, back again with another guitar tutorial, and today we are going to take a look at this new Camila Cabello song, Shameless. It's a pretty interesting cut because it's so far away from what I expected this song to be, like the whole dark and twisted atmosphere, that deep sub bass, like the instrumentals are so freaking out there, and we've actually got a guitar in there as well. It's pretty much muted for the most part, we'll get into that in a second, but it is in standard tuning and we will only be using standard chords here. And of course, we've got two tiny melody riffs in there as well, which we'll also take a look at, obviously. And since we are in standard tuning and don't need a capo, there's actually nothing left to say except for my Instagram is down in the description. So if you want to talk to me or see what's going on in my life or something along those lines, feel free to check that out. I would be more than happy to see you over there. Without any further ado, let's roll. Right at the beginning of the song, we kick things off with both of those melody riffs, and they are, at least in my opinion, the easiest part of the song. The first one, so what we play in the very beginning of the song, is going to sound like this. So we start by putting our third finger onto the 7th fret on the 5th string. And now we pick that string down 8 times, but we have to palm mute the strings. So we take the palm of our right hand, we put it down here on the strings, and as we go down, we always keep the palm on there. The further you slide up, the harder the muting effect is going to be, and the further you slide down, the more open the strings are going to sound. So you kind of have to find a middle ground here, but that's pretty much personal preference how hard you want to mute those strings. So we go down 8 times. Now we slide down onto the 5th fret on the 5th string and pick that 3 times. So we go. Now we lift the 3rd finger off and put our 1st finger onto the 3rd fret on the 5th string, and we pick that 5 times. So we go 8 times the 7th, 3 times the 5th, and 5 times the 3rd. And now we jump 1 string up with our 1st finger, so we're still on the 3rd fret, but now on the 6th string, we pick that 8 times. And then we slide up onto the 5th fret on the 6th string and pick that 8 times as well. So we go. And that is already our first riff. In the next riff, we just go. That is actually already the entire second riff, and we do that by putting our 2nd finger onto the 2nd fret on the 4th string. We pick that once. Then we pick the open 2nd string. Then we lift our 2nd finger off, pick the open 4th string, pick the open 2nd again. So now back to 2nd on the 4th and open 2nd, so we go. And now we go 2nd on the 4th, put our 1st finger onto the 1st fret on the 2nd string, pick that, lift the 1st finger off, and pick the open 2nd string again. So we go. While the bass is doing its thing in the background, we're gonna play that riff twice, and then we already get into the pre-chorus. In that pre-chorus, we will get to know all of the chords we will be using throughout this entire song, because afterwards, we've only got one more riff, and we'll be playing that after the chorus, in the chorus, and in the bridge. So this is our second to last riff, and first of all, we're gonna look at those chords, and the first one is going to be an E minor. we've got our second finger on the second fret on the 5th string and our third finger on the second fret on the 4th string. Next up, we've got a D. We've got our first finger on the second fret on the 3rd string, second finger on the second fret on the 1st string, and third finger on the 3rd fret on the 2nd string. And this time around, we have to mute both the 6th and the 5th string. So we take our thumb, we wrap around the top of our guitar neck here, and we slightly touch the 6th and the 5th string. So we don't push down here, we just hover above them and slightly touch them. So we've got the E minor, the D, next up, a C. First finger onto the 1st fret on the 2nd string, second finger on the 2nd fret on the 4th string, and third finger on the 3rd fret on the 5th string. And this time around we have to mute the 6th string. We can either use our 3rd finger to do that, or we can use our thumb. So we've got the E minor, the D, the C. Now we've got a G, first finger on the 2nd fret on the 5th string, second finger on the 3rd fret on the 6th string, and third finger on the 3rd fret on the 1st string. And last but not least, we've got an A minor. First finger on the 1st fret on the 2nd string, second finger on the 2nd fret on the 4th string, and third finger on the 2nd fret on the 3rd string. And this time around, we have to mute the 6th string once again. So once again, we take our thumb in order to do that, slightly touch that 6th string. And that's our last chord. So we've got the E minor, the D, the C, the G, and the A minor. So now that we've got those chords down, it's time to figure out what to do with them. I'm actually going to show you two ways of playing this pre-chorus. The first one being what they're actually playing in the song, and the second one being what you saw me play in the intro of this very video, because I feel like you can kind of spice it up and make what you're playing on guitar here a bit more exciting. So you can play this palm muted, and I already showed you how to palm mute, like palm down here, only strumming down. And I'm going to show you how to play it with open strings because, well, it's a lot easier to hear what's actually happening. So we actually pretty much do the exact same thing as we did in that first opening melody, because we're going to be strumming the exact same amount of times on each chord as we did there on each note. We're going to start off on that E minor and we're going to go down 8 times. Now we jump onto the D 3 times and the C 5 times. And one way of making that switch a hell of a lot easier is by strumming down twice on the D, then lifting your fingers off and already kind of switching over to the C, meanwhile doing one strum down on empty strings and then going onto that C. So you go. When you play it in the speed of the actual song, that will not sound off pretty much at all. Like, you probably won't notice it. So you just go. Then we go down 8 times on the G. And 8 times on the A minor. That is the entire pre-chorus. And what I do works like this. We go down and up 8 times on the E minor. Now we go down up on the D. Go down on empty strings in order to transition. And up on the C. So we go. And now we go up, down, up once more on the C. So. And now we go down and up 8 times on the G. And go same rhythm, but only on that A minor. So down, up, down, up, up, down, up. Just like that, and that is the entire thing. And as I said, in my opinion, that makes it a bit more exciting, but that is totally up to you, which way you choose. But now we're gonna move on into our last riff, which is going to be the chorus and the part after the chorus and the bridge. So chord-wise, it's pretty easy because we've got an E minor, a D, a C, and an A minor. So we only leave out the G, and we hold all of those chords equally as long. So we don't have that fast switch from the D onto the C, we just go. We just let each chord play out. And that is actually already the part after the chorus and the bridge, because all you have to do there is strum down once on each of those chords. And in the chorus, you guys know me, I love spicing things up, and we're gonna do that once more here. I'm gonna show you what I would recommend to play in the chorus if you wanna stick as close as possible to the actual instrumentation, and I'm gonna show you guys what to play if you want to stick as close as possible to what the song feels like here, because what I'm actually sticking to here is Camila's voice, because she has those broken up segments and then a kind of flowing part in there. I'm not gonna flow out of frame, gonna float over here. And what I mean by that is following the instrumentation would work like this. Following her voice would work like this. So what we do in the version following the instrumentals is we strum down once while muting the strings. So as we strum down here, we slap our right hand on those strings like that, and we go up, down. And we do that twice, so we go. Then we do that twice on the D, on the C, and on the A minor. And for my version, we do the exact same thing on the E minor. Then we do that slap down, strum, whatever, once on the D and go up, down, up, down, up, down. So we strum up and down 6 times here. And then we do the exact same thing with the C and the E minor, so. And that is the entire song. I hope you guys liked this video. If so, drop it a thumbs up. Helps me out more than you might think. And if you haven't done so already and are new to the channel, go in and hit that subscribe button. It's somewhere down there. And as always, I hope that I will see you guys next time.